So I wanted to do a video about the way that Christians are reacting to them legalizing gay marriage. And I wanted to start by saying I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. I love God. But I also wanted to raise questions to you Christians and hopefully ask yourselves why you guys hate gay marriage and gays so much. I understand it's a sin. I'm a Christian. I'm not going to deny that. I read the Bible. And in Leviticus chapter 20:13, it says, if a man lies with a man, the way he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. Okay? So we got that understood. It's a sin in the Bible. Christians, one thing that I think you guys need to understand when you guys are so judgmental about, gays and who they choose to love is at some point in the Bible, in the Old Testament, Genesis, it's in Genesis actually, men had multiple wives, okay? A lot of them. Abraham had multiple wives. Solomon had multiple wives. King David had multiple wives. King David stole one of his soldiers' wife, got him pregnant, and then had him killed. Now this is the beloved King David, the one who wrote all the Psalms. God's beloved David committed adultery and murder. With that being said, he's still forgiven. And Christians, I would also like to remind you about Romans 3:23. For all have sinned and all fall short of the glory of God. Everybody sins and we all fall short. You're no different. The difference between gays and Christians is some gays, a good number of them, 20 million of them down in Brazil, hate God. They marched the streets of Brazil and recreated the crucifixion to mock him because they hate him. And that was actually when I decided to do this video, because I understood, one, why they hate God and Jesus, and then two, I understand why Christians are so, threatened and hate homosexuality. Like, I get it. But Christians, they're sinners. They haven't asked for salvation, and we have. And unfortunately for us, we're the ones who have to represent God and His perfection, even though it can never be done. It can never be done, but it's our job to continuously try. And whether we want to admit it or not, we're a representation of Him, His mercy, His grace, His blessings, what it is that He does for us in our lives. And people who don't know Him, people who don't know what He's done for us or what He's about or doesn't know anything about Him, how do you expect them to come to God when Christians are saying who you are is an abomination to who we are? I wouldn't want to be a Christian either. How about, instead of being so angry and showing all these, oh, they're legalizing gay marriage, the world's going to end, Jesus is coming, we're all going to die. What about the war in the Middle East? What about ISIS killing and beheading Christians because they believe in God? I don't hear too much about that. Nor do I hear too much about the burning churches. Nor do I hear too much about anything other than gays. It's crazy to me. And you know what their sin is? Their sin is love. It's because who they love. Their sin is not because who they hate, who they kill, who they murder. They're murdering Christians. I don't hear anything about that. Nothing. And that's crazy. It's crazy. And I also want to remind Christians about James chapter 2, verse 10. For whoever shall keep the whole and yet stumble on one point is guilty of all sins. Meaning, if you are guilty of one sin, you are guilty of all the sins. And as we know, those of us who read our Bible, that our sins have no weight. they weigh the same in God's eyes. Regardless of what the judicial system says, all sins are equal in God's eyes. He looks at a murderer the same way he looks at an adulterer. And you know what? When Jesus came, you know who he came to? He came to the tax collectors and the prostitutes. Because they need him the most. Not us. We already have him. So instead of you guys judging them and persecuting them and, you know, just being nasty, why don't you guys talk about his forgiveness? Talk about how he's going to forgive them for being gay. Talk about how he's still going to love them for being gay. Talk about how they're still going to go to heaven even though they're gay. Because if you don't believe in salvation for them, then you shouldn't even believe in salvation for yourself, honey. Because I bet you